Alright, everyone, hello. We are starting actually from little on the other side of Amstel Station. The first clip of this camera ride was a little different than. I had some camera malfunction. I had a lot of weird things happen with the camera today. But, anyways, so this is on that shoulder harness that basically puts this camera right on my sternum, my breastbone. I did not realize this footage until I got back yesterday and loaded it from the camera that it basically sways back and forth because I sway back and forth. Hopefully we can deal with this. I was having kind of a traffic jam because I'll say this now. It's amazing that a lot of people, that this number of people can actually obey the rules. They can go out, they can enjoy their lives, and keep the meter and a half apart. Like, I don't really get it. I don't seem like it. But this park is like, look at that. The park has got its distance. Everyone's out enjoying the sun. Right now we're right next to the restaurant La Osteria when Aaron and I went and had pizza. And, yeah. I knew there was going to be like a park and river restriction put in today, as you guys can probably see why. It is like 18 degrees and blazing sun. I opted for this to be kind of the test for today. A little tiny bridge. Because I realized I wouldn't be wearing too terribly much. I'm wearing one of my thinner hoodies. Because I realized also that I was not acclimated towards the sun at this time of year. So, yeah, almost ran into a lady because people are trying to maintain a horizontal under half a meter Afstand. Yeah, so they tend to crowd up and stuff, you have your Sunday cyclists. The benefit to having this thing on my chest, though, is the fact that any hard bumps in the road are a little bit mitigated by the fat in my body. So the windmill from last time is over on the right side. That's at the southern end. Joud. It's at the southern end of Amstel Park. And so yeah, I'm on the other side of the river. This thing can actually pick up my voice because it is next to my chest, and notice how many microphones for like people are dangle from their ear down to like their chest area. But since it was in the case, I did detect it later. I would have to increase the decibels in order to get it. But one of the jokes that I made is that people are wasting a lot of gas by having one person in an entire boat. To be fair, you know, it's still going out on the thing, but yeah. There's like farmland to the left side, river to the right. And so, yeah, everyone is out doing their thing. But as you can see, there's about one person in between all major groups. If you see my thumbs do that little bouncing thing, it's because I'm doing like the most passive aggressive thing of like, you guys are cycling so slow and I'm waiting for an opening in the traffic so I can speed ahead. Because if you think about it, yeah, anyways. From this view, you're able to see a lot of my sassy neuroticness. But yeah, there's farmland to the left, there's horses and sheep and cows, and there's motorcycles. Yeah. People have stopped on the side of the road and gone down towards the slochas that block off the farmland. Yeah. And they're taking like, hey, this is a little bit green space, nobody goes. Well, it's also probably private property, but nobody's really going to complain right now as long as you're not, you know, infecting everyone. But yeah, there's people on the side of the road. People trying to figure out where they're going because there are knotenpunks all along this route that lead left. You can't really go right. There's a river right there. Honestly, I'm just going down to the next bridge and back. Just see the sheep on the left. Back up. But I did realize that turning my body is harder to aim this camera than I thought. I did think that maybe I will try the head mount, which this camera apparatus does have. So yeah, I just don't know about that one because aside from the jiggling back and forth, you'll notice every twist and turn that I did. Yeah, it's because my head is all over the place. Because I was actually looking at things and, you know, catching in the sights and remembering things and reading real estate signs to see what Dutch I know and looking at pretty shrubberies that were on the left side that were. But I know a lot of people in the States are, they feel locked down, bound to their house. In many places, I understand. And some places in Europe are that way also. You've got a bunch of, I know that like Italy is on an enforced curfew. I was bringing up Europe, but I know that Brazil has enforced curfew, and many places in South America do. We don't. I've heard this term called an intelligent lockdown. I don't really know what. Yeah, I guess it's the fact that they think that the Dutch people are smart. And every time I've been out, I've seen adults managing the rules. The camera stopped recording for some reason, so we had a little bit of a skip. Yeah, that was an editing skip. Because there was, anyways. But yeah, the river is nice and calm. Houses on the left. All that jazz. Get a little bit of bottleneck every once in a while. I try not to, I'm not really complaining at people going slow. Sunday riders, I'm also in a way higher gear than I was expecting, because I needed to go against the wind. But this is about a 10-kilometer each direction. So even for those that aren't necessarily adept at a bike, if you came and visited or, had an extended stay in Amsterdam, and cows, sorry, a little ADD, another windmill because it's the Netherlands, come on. We've now entered into the outer Amstel neighborhood. That's where I'm technically heading to. I'm not sure. It's a city section. It's like Duivendrecht or various things. That's what that big sign was. It was the neighborhood or city section boundary. It's kind of hard for me to figure out sometimes which one, because there's obviously nested stuff within stuff. And I'm like, outer Amstel, is that on the level of Oost, on the level of Centrum? Or is that like Transvaalbert or Watergraafsmeer or something like that? Like there's, yeah. So I don't really know. But as we're getting into this little, and it's a little tiny, I say tiny, but it's a proper sized like thing. And we're going to go back to normal speed here because knooppunts are Pokemon stops. But yeah, there's a little bit of people. There's houses and a little bit of shops on the other side of this road. This is actually a pretty significant road that goes west from the main north-south highway. That is the bridge that goes across the Amstel, and I could technically ride up and over the bridge and go to the other side of the river, and then ride up the other side. But again, that would put the river on the right side and would not be of the camera. Versus going backwards, it'll be on the left side. All right, and I think they're going to put more residential stuff in where those big white bags are. All right, time to head home. I was just doing Pokemon stuff. I'm trying not to get the heart rate down. This was kind of, see, I'm not pedaling right now, so we get a little bit of a, yeah, I try. I really do try. And I've learned what to do about this one. Perhaps next time I ride a bike and I have this strap on, perhaps don't try to pedal so fast and actually have an enjoyable ride. But as I'm not struggling against the wind right now, the return on this pathway does have a lot more stable shots. But with the river on the left, for some reason I lean to the right. There's that windmill again. Windmolen. Yeah. And so now we're leaving Outer Amstel. And so, got houses to the right. That was the most Dutch car I've probably seen in most of my time here. Yeah. Like I said, there's farmland. It's kind of hard to see because the camera has a wide angle. When I'm like, slow down. Some of the scooters and motorcycles just come flying through here, and I'm like, why? This is like this. If you want to go, but the thing is, they can't go freeway fast, so this is effectively a freeway for them. But anyways, yeah. On the right, you would be able to see actually the Johan Cruijff Arena because I'm down that far south. I was actually laterally more south of Bijlmer. That was a little nerve-wracking because two people were riding side by side and we'll call him a commuter bike wanted to pass them at the same time I was going the other direction. Technically, he should have slowed down, but you know. I understand. Sometimes you can't actually slow down and think you can make it, and the timing is off by a little bit. We didn't get in an accident, so we were all within way less than a meter and a half distance. But from what I understand, the meter and a half distance is car raced up on my ass and beeped its horn a little bit, actually, because I was going too slow for it, and so I was like, But yeah, we're coming up on a slightly slower time of the thing. I've slowed it back down to normal speed. Yeah. I am currently talking right now. I can see it on the waveforms, but there's no way I can crank the decibels enough for you guys to hear it. But yeah, people on boats, people that have driven their cars out, people have masks on. Yeah, if this was a normal time, we were back to normal, there would be so many boats. There's a whole herd of cows over on the right side there. And all that jazz. All right. Now we're heading back up. So the camera was actually at a slight knock forward. I figured it was more vertical than it was up against my chest. On the right down, this one it was pushed back a little bit, so you don't get to see a lot of the handlebars. Anyways, yeah. I mean, it's a great and beautiful day south of Amsterdam. And, people are enjoying themselves and maintaining their distance. And I'm the firm believer that a day like today, with the amount of people that were out doing, to be fair, if you were out at Vondelpark or Oosterpark and you were sitting around, you know, not doing much and you were crowding everyone, that would have been a problem. But to me, doing stuff like this, staying moving, and you're not like, yeah, it's not that big. Horsies. Yes, I said on the camera, yes, I'm 38 years old and I still call them horsies. Because that's what they are, they're horsies. And so, the idea is, I don't actually mind people getting out, enjoying the sun, getting their, sun chemicals, getting a little bit of a tan, getting their heart rate up a little bit, getting their vitamin D, getting fresh air, because a lot of these people probably were locked up in their house. But yeah, it helps the overall body health, and I don't actually, when it comes down to the actual business side of this lockdown or quarantine or whatever the buzzword is of today, the stores and everything are doing their job. The places that I think are the worst, are going to be the biggest problem, have their security measures in place. But locking down the entire country probably isn't that necessary. I mean, we also don't have nearly as bad a rates as some other countries. So you look online and people are like, oh my god, I can't believe the deaths went up by such amount. And I'm like, actually that's less than the last 2 days. So things are going pretty good. We're lessening the deaths per day. And that sounds terrible, but that's what we're looking for. And that's what flattening the curve is. We're looking for less deaths per day. We're looking for less confirmed cases per day. That's the whole goal of this. If in 2 weeks from today, things go through the roof, I guess I'll eat my own words and say that, okay, maybe this sunny day wasn't the greatest. But it seems like it was doing a lot of good for a lot of people's mental health and stuff. And there's just so many people out, but yeah. reaching the end of the footage. The camera died actually about 2-3 minutes after this, but there really isn't anything through that stretch. So I will check you guys later, and I'll try different camera things to make sure this isn't so way back and forth.